Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mark with Wear Parts, and I've got Eric Derry with us from our customer care team. And today we're going to be talking about field cultivator sweeps and reversibles. We've got just a smattering of what we offer as far as a lineup, but we've got conventional bolt-on field cultivator sweeps. We've got some high chrome sweeps. We've got a curved wing, both in 1/4 inch and 5/16 in the bolt-on, and then we have the curved wing quick change sweeps as well as a chrome reversible. And we don't have one here today, but we also have those poly shank protectors that work on a bolt-on sweep. So just a tons of offering on our field cultivator sweeps. Eric, why don't you kick us off with our conventional stay-wide sweeps?
All right, we'll start out with what would be your basic sweep that you're starting out with. This is a stay-wide sweep. You see it has the parallel edges on both sides, so that as this wears back, it's going to maintain that same cutting width through the field. That's why we call it a stay-wide, because until that thing is worn out, you're going to keep that same width all the way around there. 1 3/4 or 5/8 inch and 3/4 bolt spacing to fit all your standard cultivators. We carried it in a 47-degree angle, so 47-degree stem angle. It's pretty standard. That covers probably 80% of the machines out there. We have them in a variety of widths, going from 4 inch up to 12 inch. So this one's a little bit bigger. We're looking at here. This would be a 10 inch.
A 10 inch by 1/4.
Yep. And you can see there we also still have the stay wide. So as this wears, it's going to continue to keep that 10 inch width.
It looks like there's a couple mentioned here that are 41 degree that we stock in the 7s and 9s. Is that for Deere? Is that for Deere cultivators or?
That would be looking at on the 41 degree. You'd be looking at some of the older, like Alice Chalmers is one that would have the 41 degree.
Right, and then there's also some of those older Deere field cultivators that run that 41 degree. If you are ever in our price book, you can see we have a field cultivators sweep chart that shows the different stem angles, etc., and the different sweeps that fit on the different different brands of field cultivators. Then we don't have any here today, but we have 2 sweeps that are high chrome castings. Again, that's a 28% high chrome casting. It's got about a 58 Rockwell. It's not made for rocky conditions, but it's made for high wear conditions, and they just wear and wear and wear. We have the 7 and the 9 on that, and then we also have this reversible in a high chrome. It's a little over 10 inches long. It's 2 inches wide, and it's 3/4 of an inch thick. It's got the bulked up ends on it, and then it uses a standard bolt. Is that a 7/16, Eric?
Yeah, the standard bolt on most field cultivators is going to be a 7/16. This also has the pads on the back, so that when you mount that on the shank, it's going to be riding on those pads. It's not going to be trying to cradle into that shank, where if that cultivator shank and the sweep are a slightly different curve, if you're trying to fit that thing on there flat and you go to tighten those bolts down, there's a good chance you're going to break either that point or do damage to your shank.
Without those pads on.
Without those pads.
But generally speaking, on these bolt-on field cultivator sweeps, you always run a 7/16 plowhead bolt.
Correct.
But just to note, on this spike, it uses a standard bolt head, not a plow head. So that just helps for your hardware situation. Okay, now tell us about the curved wing.
Ones. These Raptor sweeps, you'll notice that they do have this curved wing. What that does for you, it allows you to have that point actually out there farther. So you actually end up with more wear on that tip because that point is sticking out so much farther than a conventional. There's a significant difference there. Also, that curved wing gives you more area for cutting weeds. That makes it real nice there. and kind of tends to capture them a little bit. They're not going to be able to slide past like they would on a straight sweep. You'll also notice here this nice little bump right there.
Okay.
What that does for you is it actually protects that stem to keep the soil from wearing into that stem.
So as the dirt comes along, it kind of ramps up off of that little bulge, and it helps your wear here.
Right.
We do at times get the request to do hard facing beads along each side of those holes, and it comes right down here again to help your wear. But that little bulge right there, that's exclusive to Wear Parts Raptor sweeps, and that just helps your wear on your.
There's another difference between a conventional sweep and this Raptor sweep too, and it's real subtle, but it can make quite a bit of difference. If you look right here on this edge, you can see how that comes up and then just kind of flattens out there.
Yes, I see that.
Right through here.
Yep.
What that does is when you're field cultivating, you don't necessarily want to be throwing dirt everywhere.
Gotcha. Okay.
So as this lower profile allows it to cut through, cultivate, kill the weeds, you're not going to be throwing dirt up and doing a lot of ridging.
That you can see where on this conventional one, it's not tapering off on the backside. It's still coming up. So what you're saying is this would throw the dirt a little bit higher than that Raptor sweep. Okay. I'm trying to think. On the Raptors, we do both 5/16 and 1/4 inch. Just trying to think, Eric, what else our friend Eric Erickson would point out about field cultivator sweeps. He's very passionate about it.
Yes, he is. Hard facing is something that can definitely be added to any of our sweeps, whether you want to do top hard facing or bottom hard facing. And we do use our CMT cold metal transfer hard facing on the edges and the nose of our Raptor sweeps.
There's one there. Is that a 9 or 10 inch quick change?
Oh, this actually would be an 8 inch.
8, okay.
So that's just an 8 inch sweep, quick change. It's got the curved wings, but it has the hard facing on it. In this particular case, it is on the top, and then it has the hard face nose also going back quite a ways. It's like we said before, you already have that extended nose for that longer wear. Put that hard facing out there, that's going to keep that out there even longer. So as this one wears back, a lot of you, if you're familiar with field cultivator sweeps, when they wear, they tend to round, almost look like a horseshoe in front.
Yeah, I've seen that, yep.
As these wear, they're going to stay the same width. They still have that same statewide profile, but because of that curved right here coming up to this sharper tip, it's going to keep the profile and the shape of that a lot longer than a conventional.
And then on as far as the different types of hard facing, you can do a top and a nose and a stem, or you can do a bottom wings with a top nose and stem, or not do the stem at all. So there's probably 4 or 5 different options, or some people buy the field cultivators plain. My recommendation is labor is expensive, and crawling underneath field cultivators isn't something that I particularly enjoy to do. So I would recommend a hard facing or the quick change is also. Tell us about the quick change, Eric.
So you have the quick change sweep where you're talking about saving labor and also having to crawl underneath there with an impact wrench or if you're unlucky, a torch to cut your sweeps loose.
Intense.
You can have this nice little bracket. So this bolts on just like your conventional sweep would. So you bolt this on, you add this nice little clip here. See right here it has a little tab. So what that'll do is as you slide this in, it'll catch on this hole, and then that will keep it from popping off. So the installation for these is a hammer.
Yep, and then to get it off, you just need to depress that clip and knock the sweep off as well. They make a special little tool that works to where it goes in there and you just tap it and they come off. So again, if you went with a quick change hard facing, that's your best deal as far as cutting your labor. If you're out there switching out sweeps several times in a season.
Right. Yeah, that's definitely going for a premium product and something that's going to save you more time and labor. So that's some of the best combinations you can get out there.
And then as far as the widths, we go all the way from the 4-inch wide up to 12-inch wide on our field cultivators, right?
Correct.
And then our of course, you've got the reversible. That's just kind of cruising along.
It's a nice little spike there, though. If you're just trying to do a little bit of scratching at the ground, that's what you want to use.
Well, that wraps up our session on field cultivators. Again, we've got many different options. Please give us a call with any of your needs, and if we don't have what you're looking for, just let us know, and we'll try to do everything we can to get you taken care of. Thank you again, and good afternoon.